Even though the 2020 election is still years away, the Trump campaign is taking no chances. Long before the Democrats have even selected a front-runner, the Trump train is gaining steam. They just dropped a huge bombshell that will send the left spiraling in dismay. Really, we have to wonder what chance the Democrats have in 2020. Their much-predicted blue wave for the 2018 midterms was always a farce. Those elections will most likely be a bloodbath for the Liberal Party. But their next biggest chance to ruin America comes in the 2020 presidential election. The problem for them is, they'll be running against Donald Trump. Despite the heavy attacks from the mainstream media, Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton in 2016 with an electoral landslide. The arrogant liberals of the country were devastated. Since then, they haven't recovered. Their so-called resistance is made up of blue-haired wimps and dishonest politicians. They have zero backbone or credibility. Every day, we learn of another Democrat outed for sex abuse or criminal activity. And they still think they know how to run this country better than us. Since entering office, Donald Trump has made good on every campaign promise. He's poised to appoint his second, originalist justice to the Supreme Court. He slashed regulations and even lowered taxes. Because of his leadership, jobs are flooding the country. Unemployment, especially among women, Black Americans, and Latinos, has hit record lows. We are seeing ISIS eradicated and major wins across the globe. Still, the Democrats call Trump a Nazi and claim they are the good guys. These are the people who put illegal aliens ahead of Americans and want men using the same bathrooms as young girls. Yep, we haven't forgotten about that, Democrats. It's clear the Democrats are falling behind in every way imaginable. They've lost touch with everyday Americans, instead opting to pander to the most extreme minorities. Their desire to force socialism onto the United States is blowing up in their faces. Now, the Republican Party made a huge announcement about Trump's 2020 campaign. The left is clearly in tears. President Trump has raised more than $88 million for his re-election campaign over the last year and a half, giving him a dramatic head start on prospective Democratic challengers in the 2020 race. Mr. Trump's campaign committee, combined with two joint committees formed with the Republican Party, ended last month with nearly $53.6 million in the bank, almost $10 million more than their previous largest balance, according to finance reports filed Sunday evening with the Federal Election Commission. Mr. Trump's campaign and the two joint committees, Trump Victory and Trump Make America Great Again, have continued spending aggressively to cultivate donors through both online list building targeting small donors and fundraising events for big donors. The largest donation in the second quarter came from Andrew Beal, a Texas-based banker who once squared off against Mr. Trump in a bankruptcy case. He donated $339,000 to Trump Victory. Source: The New York Times. Fundraising was a critical aspect of the 2016 election. While Hillary Clinton reportedly had around $2 billion to spend, Trump had a much more meager budget. Yet, he went on to destroy her in the election. Wanna know why? Because while Hillary was getting big bucks from globalists like George Soros, Trump was getting the support of everyday Americans. Many more voters were contributing to his campaign, signaling the kind of passion and enthusiasm that Trump supporters had. The fact that he's already raised $88 million 2 years before the election means Trump supporters have continued to stay energized and excited over what the president is doing. In fact, he's gained more supporters over the last 2 years, after many Americans have seen the incredible job he's been doing for the economy. That speaks volumes about what is going to happen in 2020. What idiot would vote against a man who is bringing jobs back to the United States? Even liberals across the country are benefiting from Trump's booming economy. And everyone will benefit when illegal immigration is ended and terrorism is a thing of the past. The real problem our country is facing is the unchecked hatred and violence from liberals. Democrats have manipulated many empty-head millennials to don masks and attack peaceful Americans. Their lapdogs and Antifa are making major cities dangerous places to live. That has nothing to do with President Trump and everything to do with the pathetic resistance. But clearly, Americans are not on the side of a party that hates free speech, empowers domestic terrorists, and puts illegals ahead of citizens. This huge amount of campaign money is a testimony to Trump's dramatic impact on our country. By 2020, there might be so many people favoring Trump, there won't be a liberal opponent willing to run against him. I'm fine with that.